Welcome back, blade fans, to a fixed blade pocket check that I'm calling my favorite 5, I guess you have to give it a number, pocketable fixed blades or fixed blade pocket knives. I think that's a good term because it's not a pocket knife in the way we normally think of a pocket knife being in or clipped to the pocket. Instead, these are viable alternatives and they work quite well. Somewhat different in size, some medium small, some quite small. But let's take a look at them and discuss some of the advantages, and then I'm going to name my top knife out of all of these at the end, and you can see if you can guess which one it is right now. Well, let me begin at the right with something I acquired within about the last 6 months. This is a tops knife. This is the Lioness. It is simply a takeoff on another one of their knives, and I'm sorry, but the name escapes me. This one simply is in different colors. They also make this in a very bright, like pink or purple, or pink and purple, and kind of gear it towards the female knife using audience. Kind of a trailing point on this one with a full belly. Got the built-in finger stop guard simply by cutting out in this area of the handle. Got some very nice brown micarta going on here. Nicely jimped. Very fancy with some regards. Excellent, useful, almost too aggressive jimping right there for your thumb. And you can lay your thumb on the back of the knife and curl that handle up into your fingers, and it really tells you it's not going anywhere. If you're doing precision cuts, you've got jimping right up here. Quite nice. Very similar to what Bastinelli does on a lot of his knives, or Bastion Cove, I should say, on the Bastinelli line. Got a lanyard provision here. Quite nice. And comes in, if I can find it amongst all the Kydex you hear rattling around in the background. Comes with a nice Kydex sheath. Nice and thick, as most top knives do come with a very thick grade of Kydex. A spring plastic clip with a claw at the end, keep it from pulling off the belt. This, with or without the clip, can easily be thumbed off, and that's one of my requirements, is that you can pop that sheath right off. So you carry the whole thing in the pocket, you pop off the sheath, and away you go, either for your utility or defensive tasks. That is the tops Lioness. The steel on this one is, I believe, their typical 1095. It's not going to tell you, but they've also done recently a reverse edge version of this they call the Unzipper, with a black handle but more or less the same knife. And you hold it this way and jab and rip. So a Pical knife. Kind of nice. I'm looking into one of those. But I wish they would make knives that ride close to your body, especially in warm weather, in something other than 1095. What can I tell you? It's prone to rust, much more so than even D2. Now, the TS265 by Tucson is a Mazwan Mokhtar design. It is a beautiful, well-balanced knife. Effective jimping, 14C28N steel, a good length. The swedge is not sharpened, so you can make full use of that with your thumb, or you can choke back onto the jimping for more pressure-oriented cuts. The handles stand up on top of the tang of the knife, which is okay. It's quite even all the way around. But just a beautiful, and they call this the puffer, beautiful high width blade that is relatively short. Not going to measure these all up, but we're talking like sub 3 inches on this. Maybe right about at 3 inches. Well, let's see, where are we? We're going to call it actually 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 inches. You can get a full 4-fingered grip on it. Very neutral. Grip it any way you like. You can cap the pommel and use it this way. Can be a very effective utility knife as well as a defensive Marshall blade type tactical last ditch type of a weapon. And somewhere is the sheath for it. There it is. Comes with a Tech-Lock type sheath, or a Tech-Lock type belt attachment. So if you're going to carry these in your pocket, you may simply want to dispense with that. It's a lot of extra thickness. If you're going to put it on your belt, either horizontally or vertically, or angle it, you can use that. But I think many times just using a strap that loops over the belt and put this inside the pants is a good way to go if you're going to belt carry. Next up, the Sea Snake, a Mike Emler design for Artisan. And this is in their AR RPM 9 steel, which is sort of like a what do they call it? 9 CRV, 18 MOV, very close, I understand. Very fine edge, very, very full high grind, flat grind, and yet full finger choil for utility work. I think that's great. You can hold it this way. You can hold it back here and just get, for me, 3 1/2 fingers on it. That's okay, because if you go up here, then you're fully on the handle. Extremely, extremely lightweight knife with, on this one, if we measure all the way up there, we're talking also close to a 3 1/4 inch blade, which is interesting. Looks a lot smaller and lighter overall. This is a feather though. And I'm not going to be putting measurements up on the screen for this video. I will, however, try to put links to where you can buy these. But that knife by itself is only 2.29, call it 2.3 ounces. Extremely lightweight. And the sheath is pretty light and does not come with any hardware. It does come with a lanyard chain. Not a lanyard chain, neck chain. So you can neck knife this guy. But again, they give you that nice provision there for popping it off very easily. Extremely easy to carry in the pocket if you like a sheep's foot style blade. Moving on. There is the Acheron La Sancti, a Bastinelli Knives design, Bastinelli Creations. Very unusual little knife. This is only about 6 inches overall with 3-inch blade if you measure it right up there, shorter by about a 1/2 inch if you measure it there. Nice plunge grind, nice finger stop built into the handle. And it's about a 3-finger knife if you're holding it this way, but interestingly enough, if you elect to hold it this way, you can get 4 fingers on it. I haven't figured that out yet, except the pinky's a smaller finger, and it's able to get right down on that back of that blade. So in this position, very nice little last ditch knife. Comes with a minimalist Kydex sheath. That's all you got. On this particular one, really nice natural micarta. with a nice weave to it. A whole lot of jimping that's that file-like jimping that's useful but doesn't bite you. I mean, your thumb does not slide, period, end of story. Got a Warncliffe style blade on this guy. It's a pocket wonder. And I couldn't see you carrying this anywhere else besides a pocket, but you know, you could tuck it in and belt loop it, do a horizontal carry with the right kind of rig. It's just a beautiful little knife. Lastly, but not leastly, we have the Street Beat by Spyderco. S30V, no, VG10 on this one. VG10. This is a Fred Perrin design, and Fred Perrin was kind of a mentor to Bastien Cove, by the way, both French knife makers. Bastien borrowed a lot of ideas from him for many of his knives. I mean, certainly you can see similarities here in the way we've got the built-in finger stop, finger groove on both of these knives. A little different here, because you've got a full radius there, whereas here you've got a partial radius and then just into the flat of the handle. However, this knife for a 3.5-inch blade locks in, and you've got a full handle just out of a, it's like a FRN, but it's very hard glass-like, maybe high glass content FRN. Holds very easily in a saber grip, but you can just as easily choke up and put the full thumb on the back of the blade. You've also got jimping on this one way out. Let's see if I can get you a good view of that. Way out to there. And that is a common theme between Bastinelli and this particular knife style. Now there's a few versions of this. There's a Street Bowie that's longer, and a couple other that are made directly by Fred Perrin. He has his own knife company out of France. There, of course, is your requisite spider hole. Please don't tell me you're going to lash this on a pole as a survival knife. Spyderco puts the hole in there because it is their trademark. Period. End of story. You might disagree with me, but that's my take on it. Having seen many folding knives with non-use holes and many fixed blade knives with non-use holes from Spyderco. This reminds me of a surgeon's scalpel handle. There is a scalpel out there I saw years ago with interchangeable razor blades that they use for surgery, and the handle really reminds me of that. It is a completely beautiful ergonomic form-fitting handle. Doesn't matter point up or point down. And that, my friends, is my favorite fixed blade pocket carry. Right there. Here's the sheath. Fits beautifully. Thumbs off perfectly. Lots of grommets. You can, I believe it did come with some form of clip, but I carry this with no clip. Drops right in the pocket. Beautiful size. The way this is right now in the sheath overall is just a little over 8 inches. So those are my favorites, favorite 5, including the most favorite right there. And let's bring them out again. So we've got the Street Beat on the bottom. We've got the Artisan Sea Snake. We've got the Acheron La Sancti by Bastinelli. We've got the TS265 by Tucson, and the Lioness by Tops. And I'm way too far in. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. As I get more small fixed blade knives, I'll give you a look, and we'll do some more comparisons. Have a good one. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. See you soon.